Make it fast. If you have really understood this, the concept of subroutine, then I will go for the next slide. Should I tell it once again? It is a simple process. It is a simple process. Say there is a main program which is having 10 lines, 10 instructions, which is having 10 instructions. Okay. Each instruction is having some separate address. Correct? These instructions are stored into the memory location, and that memory location is being displayed here. It is having some memory location. So whenever, what is a subroutine program? It is a group of instructions. Say it is also having some 5 instructions. It is also having 5 instructions. So it is also a program written outside, separately from the main program. It means outside of the main program. This is main program. This is subroutine program. Okay. So this subroutine program is called inside the main program. How it can be done? By using a call instruction. And how to get back from the subroutine to main program? By using return instruction. Jumping to the separate outside function is call instruction. Returning back from the subroutine program into the main program is return instruction, RET instruction. Okay. Now, what are the things are going to happen here? So subroutine program performs a specific functions and they are not operating on their own. It will not be executed. Any subroutine program will not be executed by itself. We have to execute them by calling it. Okay, it will not be executed if I write it into a editor, but only if it is executed when I call it. Okay, so are always linked to a major programs. They are always linked. They are not a part of the program. They are the linked programs to the main program. Okay, so it can be called, the subroutine program can be called many times whenever it is necessary. Whenever it is necessary, then we can call it many number of times. So the main purpose is to reduce the code of the program, main program, and code reusability, we call it as reusability. So one module I am going to write, and that module is called multiple times whenever it is necessary. So that what actually we are using, we are doing, this is a concept of code reusability. Okay, and it allows the division of the program blocks. Correct. So now 2 modules, 2 blocks are created. Okay, so the program is being divided now. The program is divided into multiple of functions. Correct? Then, what are the instructions I have? Subroutine instructions. I have ACALL, LCALL, RET, RETI. 4 instructions I have. Okay. So as I have discussed, there is a call instruction, there is a return instruction. What do you mean by ACALL? So already we have come across what is that? SJMP short jump, JMP, AJMP. Correct? AJMP was there, SJMP was there, and then only JMP was there. 3 instructions we have already learned, no? So this is also in the same way. ACALL stands for absolute call. ACALL stands for absolute call. Absolute call. The jumping range from main program to a particular address is within 2 kilobytes of the size. That means the subroutine program is written within 2 kilobytes of the memory locations. Okay. So what is the syntax for that? ACALL code address. Simply we have to give the address, and that address should be within 2 kilobytes. Within 2 kilobytes of the memory location. So it means what is 2 kilobytes? It is 2 raised to 11. So 11-bit address I have to provide here. 11-bit address. I have to provide only 11-bit address for ACALL. Okay, if I provide 12-bit address, then it will be it will not considering that. It will only jump up to 2 raised to 11 bytes. Okay. So the description: ACALL is unconditionally calls a subroutine program indicated by the address, indicated by the code address. Okay, what will happen when ACALL is executed? What will happen? So whenever ACALL is, say I have a two, this is main program, this is subroutine program. Okay, say this is one line, ACALL, say the address, the starting address of this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Say the address of this first instruction is 0, 0, 0, 0. Say this is consuming 2 bytes of the memory location. So what will be the next memory location? It is 0, 2, 0, 0, 0, 2. Say this is also consuming 2 bytes of the instructions. Then the third instruction is stored into 0, 0, 0, 4. Then what is the fourth instruction? 0, 0, 0, 6 and 0, 0, 0, 8. The main program started at 0, 0 location, 0, 0, 0, 0. The subroutine program started at, say there are some instructions, 0, what I can say, 200. Then 0, 2, 0, 2. These are the memory locations, memory address I am writing. Okay. 0, 2, 0, 4. 0, 2, 0, 6. Okay. So here I have R, E, T. Now I have PC register. What is the size of a PC register? It is 16 bits. Correct? Then I have SP. What is the current location that SP is locating at? What is the by default memory address? 0, 7. Okay. Now say 07, 08, 09, 08. Okay. Now say, see, a call 0, 2, 0, 0. Okay. 0200. So what is the memory size? 200 stands for what? Is it below 2 kilobytes? Is it below 2 kilobytes? Yes, it is below 2 kilobytes. The first instruction is executed. The second instruction is executed. When it comes to the third instruction, that is 0004, this is being stored into 0, 0, 0, 6. Whenever ALU is executing this instruction, ACALL instruction, so what is the next address? 0006. This instruction has to be executed, correct? 0006. But what I am doing, what this instruction is doing, ACALL 0200. It means what? First, what it will do, ACALL pushes the address of the instruction that follows ACALL onto the stack. So what is a followed address? 0006. Where it will be stored? 0006 will be pushed. Push means what? We are storing the value, the address into the stack memory, correct? So first SP will be incremented by 1. We know the push and pop instruction and what will happen with the SP register. Okay, so whenever push happens, what it will be doing? First increment SP. So SP will be storing pointing to 08. So address, what is the address? 0 to 00. 0 to 00. What is the lower byte into this address? This address pushes the address of the instruction follows by the ACALL instruction. So after ACALL, what is the address? 0006, correct? So what is the lower byte? 06. What is the higher byte? 00. So 06 will be stored here and 00 will be, again plus 1 will happen. SP will be pointing to 09, 06, 00. Okay. So the address, this return back address has now been stored into the stack memory. That is automatically doing by this ACALL instruction. Then least significant byte first, that is LSB. So 06 will be first and most significant byte second. So then again it will be incremented. So 00 will be stored into 09. Okay. The program counter is then updated so that program execution continues at the indicated address. What is indicated address? 0200. There the program execution has to begin. So PC will be erased with 0006. PC will be erased by 0006 and it will be stored with the new address. So what is the new address? 0, 2, 0, 0. So now where the ALU will go? The ALU will go to the PC location. What is the PC location now? PC is having 0 to 00. So this instruction starts executing now. So here in the main, first one executed, second one executed, third one is executed by storing this address onto the stack and ALU is jumping to 0 to 0, 0. So this instruction is executed. This instruction is executed in the subroutine. The third instruction is executed. Then what will happen? The fourth instruction will be executed. What this fourth instruction will do? This fourth RET instruction, will load, it will pop, POP. That is, what is a pop instruction now? Taking back the data which has been stored onto the stack, correct? But where that data will be popped? That data will be popped into PC register. Now what will happen when return instruction is executed? What has been pushed onto the stack? 0600. This has been stored into stack now. This will be loaded back into the PC register. So what will be the PC register value now? It will be erased with, and then it will be loaded with 0, 0. First it will be loaded with 0, 0, and then it will be, okay, first it will be loaded with 0, 0, and then it will be loaded with 0, 6. Okay. Now what is the new value of PC? 0006. So where the ALU will go? It will go to 0006. Correct? So this instruction will be executed next, and then this will be 8 when this instruction is be executed, and then this instruction will be executed 0008. Is it been understood? ACALL instruction. The only limit is 2 kilobytes. So that means 11-bit address. That only I can provide. Yes. So now it is the similar way. So the new value of the program, okay, replaced with the bits. In the similar way, we have lcall instruction. So lcall code address. Now the address is going to be 64 kilobytes. So I can jump from 0 to 64 location, 64 kilo location. Okay, that is the address bits can be now 16 bits. So 2 raised to 16 is equal to what? 2 raised to 16 is equal to 64 kilobytes. 16-bit value. The address what we can give here is 16-bit address. Okay, it is also the same thing. So first it pushes the next address onto the stack. Then program counter is then loaded with the 16-bit value, followed by lcall opcode. So this is the address that is going to be loaded into the program counter register. Okay. Difference between lcall and acall. So that is this one is an absolute call. This one is a long call. Acall jumps within the 2 kilo page, that is 2 kilobyte size address. Lcall can jump up to 64 kilobytes of space. And the size of acall instruction, the size, okay, the storage size of acall instruction is going to be 2 bytes, and lcall instruction storage size is 3 bytes. Then return instruction. So what it will do? Return is used to return from the subroutine previously called by lcall or acall. Okay. Popping, by popping the execution continuous address, that is calculated by popping the topmost 2 bytes of the stack. Then it is same as it is. Okay, I have two instructions. The only difference is RET and RETI. RET stands for return from stack, and RETI stands for stack of interrupt. So that is interrupt program. Whenever interrupt is been occurred, then to get back from the interrupt to the main program, RETI is going to be utilized. So in the next class, we will go through the examples of subroutine program. Okay, I think the time is coming to end here. So these are the advantages of subroutine program. That is going to minimize the content of the sentence in the main program. So main program will become minimized, and dividing the larger program into multiple tasks. Correct? And improving the traceability. So we can easily trace where the processor is and what it is executing. And it will be easier. The writing a program is easier, as well as it takes a less space into the ROM. So the disadvantages are invoking a subroutine that leads to computing overhead in the call mechanism. So whatever the push and pop will happen, that is going to be the overhead, because not only we are pushing the value of the PC, we have to push so many registers onto the stack whenever we are jumping from main program to subroutine program. So that leads to a call mechanism, overhead to a calling mechanism. Okay. And then the subroutine typically requires a standard housekeeping code. That means a standard code has to be written for a subroutine. That is for both entry as well as for exit. That is main important here. Or else what will happen, instead of jumping back to a exact location, we may end up with some other program also. So that may happen if we are not taking, if you are not writing exact entry point and exit point. So we will see some of the examples in the next class. Okay.